Yo, what is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper, and this is the Morning Market Report on the Piper Academy Network, guys. Looking right here, getting a little play around the 100-day and 250-day simple moving average. I am still watching for that key level right there in the golden pocket to get hit, guys. So I'm going to be watching that closely today. Plus, looking at the bubbles here, quite a bit of red. Did get some data this morning, came out, CPI and job numbers. We're going to be breaking all of that down. And then taking a look at some exclusive news here. Guys, we're going to bring you a little different news style today. You guys let me know what you think. We're going to be going over all kinds of stuff. Just stick around. It's time. Let's do it. Class is in session, guys. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper, and I do the show with my co-host almost every day. It's my co-host, but then some days I get trade fly. Today, though, it's OC Guy and I right here in the house. What's up, OC? How you doing, man? Hey, you're muted.
Oh man, you got me. I got myself once again. Very great, very great. I mean, good. It's a good morning. A little bit concerned on what happened on yesterday with the hurricane. I quit following up at 11 a.m. Oh, sorry, 11 p.m. my time. So I'll right after this, I'll just go ahead and check out the news and see how everybody's doing in Florida because it was a big one. Right now, it's back down to category number one and my prayers are with them. So we'll see how they did.
Well, I did get a message this morning on X, a response back from Randy Hipper, Miss Teen Crypto, aka. She messaged and said she's all good. So I think a lot of people fared pretty well. It did not hit as hard as what they thought it would. They were looking at it from the perspective of Hurricane Ian, and did not get hit as hard as what they got hit from that. So. So far, so good. We'll see how it goes. But good morning to everybody that's come joining us in the chat right now. Let's go see up here. Username said, good morning, Alexander G. Hopefully you got some coffee. Deep Thoughts. Tune into Piper Academy. Deep Thoughts is the Deep Thoughts Piper picture on there. I can't do the O face, guys, because the O face would mean that I was surprised, and I'm not surprised by the data that's coming out. We've talked about this. The alumni, we have known that this was coming because everyone called me a mega bear, and I know that the data is not right. It's not supporting a bull run right now. So I can't do an O face and pull it off. It just doesn't work, right? So good morning to Alexander G. Kyle Fields in the house. Average Joe Crypto in here. We got username Kyle Fields again. Let's see. Ninja Glock in here. Crypto Billy. Good morning to everyone. What's up, Billy Goat Tales? Crypto Billy in the house. Avocado bacon. That sounds delicious. I like avocado and bacon. That sounds like an amazing grilled cheese sandwich. Let's throw some avocado on there. Let's throw some bacon. It'd be good. Be delicious. Let's see who else we got here. Mike Play in the house. Bokoshi no dinero. Retro Mike Tech in here. Let's get the Bearish Academy show on the road. That's right, baby. Let's go, Retro Mike. Let's see here. Darren does things. He said he's working and lurking. Fiat mining out there. Darren, let us know in the chat, man. Harp is in here. Clay the Great in the house. We got Trade Intuition. That's T.A. Joe. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? Good to have you here. If you guys don't follow Trade Intuition, you need to. That man does some great TA and free education. You should go check out his channel. Alexandra G is probably going to drop a link here in just a moment because that's how badass she is. And Bedredden in the house, my friend Bedredden over there, chilling over there in Norway. Yeah, so that's shout out to you, bro. Good to see you there. And then I see OC guys in here. So, all right, let's get into all the news that's fit to be news. And let's talk about what's happening right now, what's going on in the economy. I got to get this all set up here because, I got my intro set up, and then I got to get the news set up. It's the news setup. There we go. Guys, looking here at the news on the Fear and Greed Index right now, coming in at 34, it looks like. Yep, 39. Sorry, 39. We're sitting in fear right now. Yesterday, we were at 49 sitting in fear. We've dropped an entire 10 points there. Let's move over into the crypto bubbles, give it a refresh because it's like a C over there. It's a high tide on the right side of that screen there it was. Hex down 11.9% for the Hexicans. They're not doing too well right now. B.O.B. in the house. What's up, Bob? How you doing, man? Uniswap up 13.1%. Evidently, people are doing DeFi play right now, it looks like. PopCap making a return up 2.2%. XRP up 1.8. And Aave up 1.3. Let's go down here and take a look at what's going on with prices here. Bitcoin currently sitting just under $61,000. It's at $60,912 right now. You can see down 1.5% on the daily, trying to make a little comeback here in the past hour, though. Ethereum at 2383, down 1.9%. BNB down to $565, making a 2% drop there. Solana dropping 1.4% on the daily. XRP, though, trying to make a rally, trying to make a comeback, guys. It's they're sitting at up 1.8%, and 1.9% of that was in the past hour. So in the past hour, they have now 2.3%. Look, we just changed. It's almost like this thing happens right when I'm live. It's so weird. Dogecoin down 2.5%. Toncoin's down 2.5. Cardano's down 1.2 and not making an hourly comeback. Avalanche down 0.21. Chainlink down another 1.1%. Shout out to Buck if he's in there listening right now. Chainlink sitting at $10.49. Polkadot's down about 0.5%. And let's see here. Unis SED Leo is up 2.5%. Near Protocol, guys, continue to make downside moves on Near, so be careful with that one. And then Sui making a pullback of 4.5%. If Eric Wallen, if you got a little bit of that sell off, someone yesterday, I think it was Eric Wallen, asked about should I sell my Sui, and I said, you might want to take some profit. It might be going down, but there is a good level of support, and we lost that support, so we'll take a look at that today. Of course, I got to check out Caspa down at number 28, down red across the board. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. He says I'm the bearish academy, but he is bearish on Caspa always. I at least have moments of hopium. Let's jump in here and check out the CPI data for today, guys. That's what you guys are here for. Core inflation rate came in. Consensus and forecast was that it would be 0.2%. It was 0.3, came in neutral at 0.3. Core inflation rate year over year, though, they expected it to be down on forecast at 3.1%. Consensus 3.2, which would have been neutral, came in higher. So core inflation rate year over year coming in higher than what it was last year. Inflation rate itself came in better. Well, it came in neutral, but higher than what the forecasted consensus was. And then inflation rate came in 2.4%, a little bit down on the inflation rate year over year, but higher than what was forecasted or consensus. Now, here's the big one there, guys. Jobless claims. I've been talking about the job numbers. They matter. Hey, what's up, 2Dub? 2Dub in the house. Wick's wife, fine, 89. I call her 2Dub because it's Wick's wife. So shout out to you. My brother Clyde, that's in Florida, guys, right there. He said, good morning, everyone. That hurricane kicked our butts here in Polk County, Florida, but we're still here. That is great to hear. Yeah, I heard it was a pretty major, pretty hard-hitting storm. Very loud and boisterous and making some weird noises, I heard last night. So I heard one video that sounded like trumpets playing, no joke. Yeah, so I'm glad everything played out there, though, for you, Clyde. Thinking about you. Initial jobless claims, guys. We talked about this number would drop. It was previously at, this is people filing for unemployment. Previously, it was at 225,000 last week. They suspected that it would be up a little bit, 230,000 to 227,000, guys. It's 258,000. Big jump there in the initial jobless claims. And we're going to jump into that a little bit better over here because this is what I want to look at. Let's take a look at this. This is the actual consumer price index. You know what, OC, I'm going to bring this over to our screen so that we can do this together because it's going to be much bigger, and I think that will be better for us. There we go. There we go. We can bring this thing in full screen. Let's take a look at the breakdown of what the CPI data was by category. So you can see here, all items, 100% of relative importance, right? Came in 2.4%. That's the unadjusted percentage change right there, 2.4%. There we go. So let's go down here. Food at home, 2.3%. You can break that down. And I'll drop a copy of this in the Discord, guys, so that you guys can see this and look at it closer. But right now, we'll just kind of go down for it through here. Meats, poultries, only 0.1%. I'm sorry, cereals and bakery products, 0.1%. Meats, poultry, fish, and eggs, your proteins, they went up 3.9%. We're just going to stick with those ones. Let's look here at energy, guys. Energy commodities. So that's fuel oil and motor oil dropped 22.4%, 15.3%, right? Gasoline itself dropped 15.3%. But look at the ones that broke the 3% line here. Electricity, got to have that, 3.7%. Utility pipe gas services, 2%. Total energy services, 3.4%. Remember, though, core CPI does not include energy, so energy or food. So why did we get a higher one if energy and food, the two things that had higher than 3% pluses, where did that come from? Guys, it's going to be down here. Motor vehicle insurance is up 16.3% right there. Transportation services, motor vehicle maintenance, stuff like that. 8.5% on average, 4.9% coming from that motor vehicle. Airline fares up 1.6, not bad. What else we got here? Hospital services, need those, right? Physician services, need those. Medical services total, 5.2%. Shelter, 4.9%. So let's see here. The things that you really need, insurance, medical, electricity, proteins, food, right? Which is not in there, but we'll still, I'm going to call it out anyways. What else do we have here that was up? Tobacco and smoking products so that you can deal with all this bullshit that the government throws at us. All these things are up. So, but medical attention, these are all the things that drove it up higher. So even though we had some areas that have dropped, we had other areas that were significantly higher. Let me know, guys, how would it work out for you to run around without your vehicle being insured? And let me know if you can just cut that 16.3% out of your inflation cost, because yeah, I don't think you can. That's what I got there on that. Let's jump over and do the CME, because let's talk about this. I want to drop this away. Go away. Thank you. We got the CPI data that came in, and then we got the job numbers, and then there was a thing in here that said that it is likely, yep, here it is. Once the September jobs report is revised sharply lower, it will reveal the Fed's. Can I get a more? Show me more. Show me more. Show me more. That nightmare situation. Reveal the Fed's nightmare situation. Rising inflation with rising unemployment. We've talked about this. That's called stagflation, guys. And if we go over here, take a look. Let's refresh this. Let's see what the chances of rate cuts are now. It looks like a 15.1% of no rate cut right now, 84.9%. So we're still leaning towards a 25 basis point rate cut coming in November. But remember, guys, that's coming right after the elections. This can switch up as soon as the elections are done, very easily, very quickly. If they drop this too fast while inflation is not coming down, inflation is harder to bring down and get in line than jobs are. You can stimulate the economy. You can't if you stimulate the economy, though, you cause inflation to go up. So it's a catch-22. How do we increase jobs? We have to either give tax advantages to the rich, to the companies, right? Which it goes against our narrative, or we have to stimulate the economy to make people to start buying so that the companies need more employees. Well, that raises inflation. We already know you turn on a money printer, inflation goes up. So it really is a nightmare situation for the Federal Reserve. But right now we are looking at a 25 basis point. I'm suspecting to see as we get closer to November 7th that this bar will start coming down on the left and that the bar on the right will start coming up, and we'll start leaning more towards a no rate cuts in November. So there was, yep, U.S. stock futures modestly red. It wasn't bad. Matter of fact, I think a lot of them have already started to turn green, maybe. But I do see the 10-year yield is up right now. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all down right now. So this is the new thing that we're going to do for the news, guys. We're just going to pop this up here. OC and I sitting here with you. And we're just going to pull up things like Seeking Alpha, because I pay for a subscription for this. You guys should take advantage of that, and we're going to do it with the news. So trending news here, we can go into that. And we can see NVIDIA's Blackwell ramp up here is quite strong. Great. That's wonderful. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's go into cryptocurrencies. Marathon lands overweight rating from Cantor on vertical integration. Guys, if you don't know what that is, Marathon Holdings is a mining company for Bitcoin. And formerly known as Marathon Digital, they're now called Mara Holdings. They have an overweight rating on Thursday as Bitcoin miners increasingly work to verticalize its business. Marathon used to rely on third parties to host its machines, making it suboptimal way to play Bitcoin, but it has since changed course and is now focused on owning and operating Bitcoin mining infrastructure. And believe, which we believe will allow Merit to meaningfully reduce its all-in cost to mine. So, could be something to watch there. Marathon might make a little financial comeback there. Would be interesting to see. Let's go over and see what's in our main news here. Nothing big there. I guess see Dow Jones, S&P, Nasdaq all down. Crude oil, gold coming up, and Bitcoin down. Let's jump over into the Bloomberg news and see what we have over here. I already pay for you. Go away. Markets. That's what I want to see. And I want to see there's, sorry, I got one of these here that does this. I don't remember which one it is. Oh yeah, there it is. Stocks. And let's go see there. Let's go look at the stocks market openings here, guys. Dow Jones, you can see that down right now. It is in the red. S&P and the Nasdaq. The composite index for the New York Stock Exchange, though, sitting neutral right now. So right now, I think that with the data that came out, some of it being a little decent, some of it being a little bad, and then the jobs numbers on top of it, you really got this pull of good data versus bad data, and it's just kind of leaving things stretched out right there in the middle. And then lastly, let's go over and check out the pro news here. See if there's anything in pro news from CNBC Pro. And we're just going to look through if we see any big headlines, and then we'll read them off. And unless there's something that specifically I want to go over that day, that's how we're going to look at the news from now on. Analyst calls CVS gets upgraded. So again, one of those recessionary proof things. People are always going to need their pharmacy medicines. And when they're there, they're probably going to pick up, a drink or something like that. So CVS getting a little bit of a boost on the analyst calls there. Microsoft faces AI disruption, says outperforming fund manager. Let's go take a look at that. Outperforming fund manager, dumping the stock. So guys, yeah, if you guys want to take a look at any options on shorting Microsoft, looking like it's got some downside movement coming there, according to some hedge fund analysts. Dividend growers. Guys, I talked about this recently. I bought a bunch of dividend stocks, and it's nice because dividend stocks will help with continuing compounding amounts. So, for example, if they give you $30 in that month in dividends earnings, you just reinvest that right back into the stock, and so you start to get that compounding ability. And when you start compounding your money, it's powerful. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows it's powerful. God, I had a Trump moment there. Anyway, yeah, you can continue to compound your earnings on top of your earnings, and after about a 10-year mark, to break that 100,000, it just parabolically goes up. So if you guys are interested in any of that information, let me know in the Discord, and you guys can join that down below. So we'll talk about how that works. But dividend stocks may be back in the spotlight. Investors should make sure that they are buying quality companies that are growing their payouts. Dividend-paying equities are expected to get a lift as the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates. That's because income investors may turn to them as their yields begin to appear relatively more attractive than the current Treasury yields. So I saw this happening weeks ago and talked about this. So yeah, this is the play, I think, right now. If you're looking at stocks, the dividends earnings should start to get a lot of buyers moving into it. And there was one last piece. I think that's it. We're done there. Let's go back. Let's go back, OC. Let's go back to DuoCam and let's start talking about some Bitcoin here. Take a look at what we're seeing on that chart, because we did get some pullback. And I think that with the economic data that came out and the job numbers coming out, that it is going to be a man, I got to sneeze right now, and I am trying to fight it back. Fight back, fight! I am fight it like Jerome Powell and inflation. I got it. I won. There we go. But yeah, we are starting to get some pullback. I'm gonna get ready to jump over as soon as I enjoy my delicious Legendary Aviation coffee. It's delicious. Let's go over and check out this chart, OC, and we'll come back. Take a look at the heat map, because yesterday we talked about some levels, so we'll see where those are at. Let's go, guys. Looking here at Bitcoin right now, guys, looking at the 12-hour chart on Bitcoin, you can see yesterday here, That was Monday that we got that rejection off of the value area high. We lost the 200 day, and then here we go. Yesterday, we were coming in right here, and I said we might get a little pump, but if we do head down, guys, we're heading down to 58,900. That's been my stance for a while. We came down. We lost the 100 day. We were fighting around here with the 50. And last night, shout out to Country in our Discord. He said, "Hey, there's a breakout." And I was like, "I don't see a breakout." And I realized that we're looking at two totally different time frame charts, right? I'm looking at a 12-hour, and he was looking at a much lower. And there was a breakout. That's that candle right there. But looking at it from a swing perspective, I knew that the 100 day was going to be a key area that we'd have to get through. Did not get through that 100 day simple moving average. We are now coming down and losing at 50 day. Guys, the next level is the 300 day right here, in line with the golden pocket. It's going to be about $59,000. I still think we're heading down to that level. Another thing that I see here is right there. That is the money flow index. It has turned red starting right here. That point starting Wednesday, yesterday morning, started to get that crossover, and it is now red. You can see that the oscillator ribbon pro is coming down. The true 7 is coming down, and volume is continuing to drop. Guys, look how flat the volume is on this right now. The volume matrix now at the end getting another flattening. It is starting to come down even more right there. So you can see that. There you go. It's I think we got more sell-off, guys. I do think we're going to hit that $59,000 level. But how low can we really go? We're going to come back after OC and we'll talk about those levels. But as of right now, first level I'm watching $59,000. Let's go ahead and kick it over to OC, and then we'll talk about the heat map. We'll come back and look at what is the lowest level that we can look at, and then am I preparing to get in on that, and what is my what's my approach on it? OC, let's kick it over to your charts, see what you got, bro.
Absolutely. First, a shout out to CryptoBilly. He says, "Watch your thoughts; they become words. Watch your words; they become actions. Watch your actions; they become habits. Watch your habits; they become character. Watch your chart. Yeah. Watch your charts because your destiny. Because your destiny. So, man, that's very deep. I really like it. Usually, I skip most of them, and then my thoughts become actions. So usually, I find out myself speaking something I shouldn't. So I need to learn a little bit more on that. Talking about Bitcoin, well, let's figure out a couple of things. First of all, let's see. This is, like the thing that, guys, I told you so, right? But let's just laugh a little bit. I've been talking about it, and I've been a little bit bearish here. Remember that we've been following this triangle along, right? That seems to be an uprising triangle. And also, we were talking about this other triangle that we have in here, right? This main one right there. So we have a breakout. We were following this trend line. Let's just also get rid of that trend line because we broke it. And then we also were looking at this other or resistance areas. It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest. There we go. Perfect rejection out of this. And then going for this secondary trend line that we had going on, right? Now, we are breaking this secondary trend line. Guys, this is where we start looking for the alert. At this point, and just a quick reminder, this is daily. Am I looking for a short at this point? Not really. In fact, the opposite way. This is what I'm going to be take a look at possible reaction or bounce back up. And that is because at this point, we have two options. We either range or fall. Why is that? Because we're breaking now down below the zero line. At this point, there's no turnaround. We already have confirmed the flip of the ribbon or the break through that ribbon. Sorry, not the flip of the ribbon, the break through that ribbon through the zero line. And I think we're going down. How far down? I will say that all the way down here. But that means that we're going to visit some lower lows. I would say, no, I don't think so. Nonetheless, we are pretty bearish, right? Are we gonna have an early bounce to the upside? I also don't think so. But also, what I see is that the momentum is going to be moving fast while the price action is going to be moving slow. And that's because I draw this box in here, and that's because I see a ton of resistance and support in here. This is like a resistance slash support box, and usually when we see that, it is because we could be seeing actions from retail, kind of like a fighting that area. For that, let me bring up the volume profile. At this point, do I have large areas of volume? Not really. But I mean, of course, just volume, yes, but out of the outcome of that volume, it is not that big. So I would be expecting once again that movement to the downside, despite we are into a ranging area. So maybe the range, instead of playing out up here as I was expecting yesterday, maybe we'll see it with that new information playing out lower down below, somewhere around those areas, as we finish bouncing back down. As you can see, it played out almost exactly as predicted, or is playing out almost exactly as predicted. And it only reminds you of plan for what's next. Let me just jump into this last chart that I have going on in here for you guys. Let's visit the 4 hour really quick. And remember that I drew these two arrows, these huge two arrows for posterity, right? Breakout, retest, off we go, and this is my target. Why do I have that target here? Because look at this trend line. Well, I can now adjust it slightly bit more, a slightly bit better. There we go. I will say something like this. Let me just right click it and lock it. Remember, lock your fibs, guys. And this is going to be the confluence point that I'm looking at. Why? Remember the previous box that I was drawing? Well, this is the bottom of that box because it acts as support, right? Also, if I started adding something like, well, where are you? Oh, it was daily. It wasn't daily, it was a daily order blocks. And where are you? There we go. Or daily order blocks. We can start seeing that the order blocks start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Still as a soft one, right? But it's accumulating much more volume, and that is adding to the possibilities for a bounce off. Remember, at this point, we are pretty close on the disparity between them both. So this could be a ranging area until we see either bears or bulls give out, or stop having some liquidity to be grabbed there. Just so be careful at those areas. I'm aiming for a total movement around, I don't know, 15th, 20th of October, a movement all the way down to 58 ish areas. Remember that Pumptober only needs to close above what it opened. So we opened somewhere around, where was it? Right here. We can do something like that and ended up closing here, which is exactly what I'm expecting. Why? Because going all the way down here, look at that trend line, that reaction of the trend line, right? So going all the way down there would end up somewhere around previous highs, and maybe with a little bit of luck, breaking this huge range that we're doing with a breakout retest. So that's what I got, Piper. Is basically right now a continuation of the analysis that we've been talking about throughout the whole week and the previous week also. So what else do you got there?
I've got some more Bitcoin breakdown for you. So let's talk about these levels and how I'm preparing, guys, because we do have the downside play. It's looking like we're going to get that. Okay, so I do think that we are going to hit that $59,000 range. 58.9 is what it is right now for the golden pocket. 300 is coming in at about 59,200. So I do think we're going to hit that. What's up, Andy S? He said, join late. What's with XLM and XRP in the green? Sure, we'll drop back down to 53 again. We'll take a look at the XRP. OC, can you put that on a list and maybe get that chart ready? We'll come back and take a look at that as the first request of the day.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Appreciate it, man. So what I'm watching here, guys, what are the other levels that we could go down to and hit? So every time I go to talk, excuse me, goodness gracious, I apologize. I knew it was coming. It's the dust here in El Paso, man. But at least, I don't have tornadoes and earthquakes and all that other stuff. Looking here at what we're seeing here, I did see Crux talk about the Bitcoin CME gap, and he said he thought it was about 59. It's actually coming in at about 54,500. It was never closed down here, guys. It never got closed. Got to put this on the daily. There we go, right there. 54,500 is the top of that CME gap that we could come down to. Is that the level that I'm looking at next? No, not at all. I'm actually looking a little bit higher than that. So the next level that I'm watching is right here. It's going to be the 0.618. It's about 56,168 on the chart that I'm watching there. Looking at this from a daily perspective, you can see the volume has just started to turn red, and money flow is about to do a little river dance here on the zero line. So easily could see that happening. We did get a peak seeker that printed here saying, hey, we're at the top. But sometimes they don't always fire correctly, right? There was one that fired this and it went sideways. We did have a little pullback, but then it pumped again, and then we got the newest peak seeker. So looking at that, that is an indication that we did have a local top here. But let's go over and talk about some other charts, because I want to give you guys several layouts and several levels, and why I think that there's a consensus here that we can come to. So right now on the Gaussian channel, looking at the 3-day, guys, you can see we're under the 200-day. And I said this is a key level. That's that orange line right there. Key level that we have to get above. Bull market, we are always above the 200-day. Bear market, we're below it. And so, yes, the river dance. We're going to river dance, bro. We are looking at this rejection on the midline of the Gaussian channel. The downside of this comes in about 55,800. So there is one little level there that we can say, okay, 55. What do we have back here on that dominance, on that CME gap? I mean, that was coming in at about 55. It's 54.5. So that $55,000 range so far, we do have some confluence down there for that. Another thing that I want to point out on here is we are in minor capitulation. And minor capitulation absolutely has a tendency to pull us back after we get a little bit of a pump. So there could be a pump in here that could literally just take us right back up to about 63,000. That would be the 200-day, and then bring us back down again to play that capitulation out. Shout out to Trade Intuition. $5 super chat. He said, I love the alumni. Best group of people in the crypto space. Best morning show for economic data and chart setups. All 3 shows during the week are fire. We appreciate you, bro, man. You rock. Let's go, Trade Intuition. So there is that capitulation that we have going on with the hash rate ribbon right now. Let's move over here and talk about one more thing. This is my master chart. It's fib channels going all the way back to the history of Bitcoin with a 200-day on it, some horizontal fibs from lows to highs of each cycle. Guys, the key level to hold here right now is 55,971. That would be the top of this first band here of the platinum pocket. If we do lose that, though, we have a level coming in right here. You can see the 0.786 is coming in at about 48,626. I think that we run into a little bit of an issue when we break this horizontal channel fib here on the 786. And that has been the case. That's been my narrative going all the way back to the bottom of the bull market when I said, guys, this is it. Like, we can only go down a little bit further. We should not ever break the 786. We had never broken the golden pocket until this cycle. That would mean that our next level of support is the 786. We might touch it, but we should never break it. And that was the narrative that I talked about all the way back in December of 2022. When we started to get into our sideways range here in this area, I said, look, we're heading towards the 786. We should not break this. And as we got closer, you can see that the price kind of went parallel with it. We're back at looking at this situation again. Guys, we should not, technically, from where we are right now, if we just stayed in this range box, let's grab that. Do that again. Thank you. If we just stayed in the range box here and we go sideways, we only have about 49 more days before we either come to the decision point that it's time to go up, or we're going to break the 786, and then we've got a whole nother story coming into play. I think that you would be looking, honestly, and I don't mean to scare anyone, but you'd be looking at this golden pocket coming back into play inside of the platinum pocket channel. And that would be as low as $48,000, $40,000, I should say. We do have the platinum pocket bottom here coming in at about 48. So I think that ideally 55,000 is going to be the most likely bad story, right? I think 59K is 100% in play. Well, 99.9%. There's nothing 100%, right? Nothing guaranteed in crypto, man, in markets. But I do think that 59,000 first level, high likelihood. 55,000, very possible. I wouldn't say it's probable. Well, it's highly possible. 59,000 is probable. 55,000 is highly possible. If we break that level, guys, 48,000, that's going to be your assumed next level. And then worst case scenario, we're looking at $48,000 to $38,000. That is if we do not go up sometime in the next 49 days. Because again, if we break that platinum pocket on that diagonal channel, just so you guys can see what this looks like, over the history so you can understand why I have the conviction that I have. Oh, excuse me, get up there. You can see here, every bear market bottom, the golden pocket was literally our support band. We got into it this time, the first time that Bitcoin has ever had a economic contraction, meaning the economy is getting smaller. Every other bull cycle, we've had a growing economy. This is the first time we've had a contracting economy. So what happened? Well, we had Bitcoin come in and get stuck in the golden pocket for about 2 months before it broke down. So therefore, this is our next support level. That 786 gets broken. Not only are we breaking something that should not get broken, we have to assume that these previous levels here, which you can see played out really good at the golden pocket, you can see played out really good with the platinum pockets, guys, we have to go ahead and say that those are going to be the key levels inside of this channel. Oh, get the draw tool. Thank you. Of this channel that we're going to watch for. And that is going to be the 48,000 down to 40,000. So we need Bitcoin to hold above the platinum pocket here, the diagonal platinum pocket. That's really what we need, because if not, we do have those levels coming in. So let's go over this on a quick recap. I do think that $59,000 is going to come into play. Let me get back to that Bitcoin chart. 59,000 is the play to watch. It's going to be right down here. You can see right now we're getting rejected, like I said, off that 200 day again on the daily. We're under that 50 day. 300, this right here. Let's go ahead and come over here. Let's throw on a rectangular box, a little support range here. This is what I'm going to be watching right here. Let's go ahead and make that green. There we go. And that's going to be our level of support that I'm watching. If we don't get that, guys, very, very likely could be heading down to that $55,000 range that we talked about. And worst case scenario is going to be that we have a break of my big 786. And if we do that, guys, then of course we're looking again. $48,000. I hate saying it, man, but geez, it's there and the numbers are there, and we've got to play a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. Now, I will say, hold on, let me give them a little bullish scenario here, guys. If we hold this range, even if we come down here in the next couple of weeks and we hit that $52,000 range, and then we get our upside move, trading inside of just the 786, and you see we always come back to it. So even if we came up here and then pulled back down in, you're still looking by the end of the normal cycle somewhere around $100,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so there's your bullish scenario. If we hold this, then it's going to be maintaining a bullish move on crypto, on Bitcoin at least. And then we have to see at what point do we get the retail to come in, because we know that the retail haven't really returned yet. That's why we see this project pumps and then it jumps and then this project pumps. It's just money moving back and forth. We just saw like 47% of the money that was leaving Solana ended up in Sui. So it's just a lot of people flushing back and forth in the market. So let's go check out the heat map, because I did say I was going to do that. And we'll look at this real fast, guys. So the level that I'm watching on here on the heat map, ironically enough, it's the closest level to us. There's our price. There's that closest heat map. And there's about let's see here, 120, 120. So that's 240. That's 342. That's about over five. So there's about $500 million in liquidity sitting right now in between 59,462 to 59,700. So that is the closest area of liquidity that we have. Now we do have a big level up here, but it's nowhere near the number. See how wide this one is compared to the narrow of this. This is only about 117 million. This is about $500 million. So I am looking at that. And again, guys, that $59,000 range, where was that at? That $59,000 range is right here in the box that I'm talking about. So that's the level that I'm watching first. OC, let's jump back over to you. Let's check out the chat. And I do see Crux said 100K Bitcoin by the end of the year. I might as well just invest it in stocks instead of crypto. Stocks have done really well this year, man. Don't glaze yourself too much with 48K. Hey, I don't think it's going to hit there, man, at all. But I do have to talk about the levels, and that's where one of the levels is at. But shout out to Bluff City Breaks in the house, man. Alex is in the house. Buck said, "Where's Alex at?" Oh, late, big, big 786. What is up, Alex? O Crypto Falco in the house. I see you, bro. I see you. Who else we got in here? L Jones. Did Piper ever do the video on that weird looking fib? I have not. I talked about it in TA 101. It showed people how to draw it, but I probably should do just a video on that. I should probably do a video on all of my macro charts because I got several of them that really should just be individual 5-minute legacy videos. So I will get on that, L Jones. Thank you for motivating me. You are my motivation. Yeah, that's what I got there. OC, your thoughts on those levels, like on Bitcoin? We're seeing the heat map down there. Like I think 59K, 58.9, absolutely is in play. But what do you think of some of those lower levels? Are you concerned about those, or here? We'll ask it this way: is $48,000 the next the target level, or is $100,000 the target level? What's your thought on that?
Remember that even in the bull flag that we were talking about for the last month, my target has been on the median of that channel, that downwards channel of the bull flag, right? And that is just 55, so 55,800. So, I mean, my levels have been 55, 56 for over a month so far. So, between those two options, I will say I'll add one more, 55, and then 100K. I don't think that we're in for the play for the 48.
That 55 is the CME gap. It would close the CME gap. So I could see that. I could see that, bro.
Yes, I mean, and we have an S ton of confluence right there. And I'm sure that an S ton of confluence is a quantifiable measure because we have the median of the downward range, right? We have a trend line, we have order blocks, we have, I mean, it's just everything bunching up there, right? So for me, there's no motivation to look forward or below it until we hit it, right? I mean, it will be one of those things that I will say at this point, it's not in my radar. I see it. I have it in the back of my head. I'm not worried about it. I mean, I've been planning for this short for a long time. So, I mean, it is just playing out what we've been talking about here in the Piper Academy. So, fearing it, I would say it will be a mistake. Although hitting it will be a great opportunity. And let me tell you that I'm going to be jumping hard in 56, 55. Because based on what I'm seeing here, if we bounce out of that area, I think we have a higher chance to be breaking the bull flag. In my bull flag prediction measured target, it is at 94K. So,
which would be right in line with where that golden pocket's running up there at. Yeah, it's right in that line. So yeah. I think we've got some different perspectives, different angles that we're coming in on it, but we're absolutely looking at the same target on the battlefield. So nice. Shout out to everybody that's joining us right now, guys. If you haven't done so yet, smash that like button. If you guys are watching us over on X, I can see here we got about 52 people right now watching us on YouTube. I've got 101 people watching us total right now on the Ecamm count, which means that we've got about 50 people watching us over on X right now too, guys. Don't forget to come over here, join us at the Piper Academy YouTube. Give us a subscription over here if you guys enjoy this content, and smash that like button. Don't forget to share it with a friend because sharing is caring. OC, let's go look at XRP and let's see what you're seeing on that chart because that's the one that that was requested earlier. Do you got that ready to go?
Yeah, let's jump right into it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Perfect. All right, just putting it in right now, just like finishing up the homework right around what the teacher tells you. Hey, do you got it ready? And she just, yes, I got it ready. All right, XRP, let's take a look at daily first. It's just this is the next stable coin, guys. It just haven't been moving. Here's my thoughts in here. If you want to jump into XRP, I wouldn't be against it, but you also bear in mind that we're following this trend line for a long time, right? And I mean, it's not me just saying it. If we even go to the regression trend, and where do I have my regression trend? Come on, here it is. And I start just drawing it, you'll see that it just matches perfectly, right? I mean, the point in here will be breaking it and holding it. But my strategy on XRP, it is getting at the bottom here, right? And let me also add another entry box at this point. And for that, I'll need to add a sideways box in here, or a slightly tilted box. Where are you? Where are you? And well, if I can't find it, well, whatever. Um, Whatever. What I'll do is just clone this line in here. Where is it? Clone it, and then move it slightly upwards to my entry point. That's gonna be my entry point. Why? I'm trying to catch all of those entries, most likely scenarios where I can entry, and just leave outside this kind of like just casualties, right? At this point, this is going to be a possible entry for me as we move forward downwards. And then I'm going to be looking for outstanding targets, and that will be when I break the channel. For me, it's gonna be a enter with a full position, which is equal to a 3% of my wallet. You can do whatever you want, and exiting of a 50% of that position right here, and holding the rest in case we start taking previous high. So exit 100% in here, and then as we go back down here, we enter, and that is only if we hit this line, entering once again and go moving forward with the breakout retest, right? But in the case that we do not make a previous high, or previous high taken, well then I'll just take 50% out and then move myself into a possible short, and once again take 50% out of the short and add the other 50%, and that's what I'm going to be doing, playing out that range. Guys, ranging, it is one of the most profitable ways to be trading, because it's just like a cheat code, guys. If you can figure out where the range is, I mean, selling the top, right? Selling the top and buying the bottom, man, that just here's like ka-ching, ka-ching, and ka-ching, right? I mean, it is just one of those things. So yes, so that's what I got on XRP. Whether if it's going upwards or downwards, I will say
I pump
I
those
don't
numbers up. Those
really
are rookie
care.
numbers in this racket.
Yes. And that is because we are almost at an entry point, ready to do a possible flip of the ribbon. Only fear it if we lose this previous low. If we lose that previous low with a big body candle, that's what it's telling you, that we're going for the retest, possible entry for a short, and a continuation to a downward. So, but so far, I just see it very stable. There's no way for me to say we are in imminent danger right now.
All right, let's jump over to actually, but the bright button. Come back. There we go. Hi, welcome back. Guys, looking here at the Dixie, I just want to take a look at that real fast, and then we're going to come back. I want to take a look at a couple of altcoins, Chainlink being one of them, and a stock, actually. An altcoin and a stock. I am watching this right here, guys. We do have the Dixie right now making, we got a little indecisive candle here on the daily. I don't think that the markets really know how to play this entire piece of data they got today. You know, they're like, but, Papa Powell told us this, and then we're seeing this. I don't know what to do. What do I do with my hands and my investments? And that's what they're asking. So, but I will point out that the Dixie does have the 100-day simple moving average coming in here at about 103. You can see in the past it has been a decent level for it to play around. I do think we could get a little bit above it, maybe up to that 200-day. That would be 103. So we are starting to wear out on this massive daily pump that we've had every single day going on with the Dixie. Once that starts to cool off, we might be able to get some liquidity to flow back into the investment side. But right now, Dixie is sitting at an unknown. So we'll see. We'll see if this is the level that maybe tomorrow we get a pump in the markets. Today, kind of flat, though. They're just sitting really stagnant. Dow only up about 0.2%. S&P down about 0.2%. And then the NASDAQ right now down about 0.3%. So we are seeing just really stagnant flat markets with the 10-year yield moving up, guys. That 10-year yield up 4.092 right now. And that is what gauges the rates for mortgages and loans and all that stuff, for car loans and all that stuff. It's not really the Fed rate. So that rate going up means that you're going to have higher mortgage rates. And we did see that there was a raise. We did have an increase in the mortgage rate this month, despite a 50 basis point rate cut from the Fed. So that's how that works, guys. If you did not know, now you know. I don't know what to do with my hands, Sarn. Parade roost. That's what you do with them. Let's go jump into Chainlink and see what I'm seeing on there. There we go. Chainlink, guys, we have lost my level of support, my little range box there. I talked about this yesterday. I do think that we're heading down here to about $8.29. Let's get that. There we go. We are heading down to that range. What is this range, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked that, OC. This is the trade range that we were in for well over a year down here. I think that we're going to retest this again. We did have a test right here that happened back in August 5th. And I think that we're going to come back down to that level, especially considering that we're losing all of the key 100-day, 50-day, that nice little support range there. That would be the level that I would watch, $8.30. Let's go ahead and bring up the Oscillator Pro. We still have plenty of room to move down here on the Oscillator ribbon to get it to the downside. Can I get my drawing tool? Thanks. We still have plenty of room for that to come down. Volume is dropping. Money flow is in the red. Guys, I think that when we had this peak seeker here, you can see we had a peak seeker, we had overbought, we had a bearish divergence, and then we started to turn down. You can see here the power bar said the trend is done. The upside move has worn out its battery. That's what that bright green is right there. And we started to get that turn down there. And I do think that the indicators that popped up here on the Oscillator Pro gave us all the warning that we needed that we were going to be heading down. Let me get rid of some of the Mexican spaghetti, clean up my plates here. I do think that this was the indication for that downside move, and we still have plenty of room to go, especially when I bring it over here. Let's check out my side-by-side heat map. Guys, looking here on the heat map on the right side, you can see that we can get all the way down here where that blue is at, and that level getting us down that low would put us somewhere around that wick that we had. So yeah, we have plenty of room to go down on the RSI side. We still have plenty of room to go down before we get to the daily Bollinger Band here. I do think $8.30, that's your target on Chainlink. And then I do want to pull up one stock, and then we'll let OC wrap it out with his choice of coin. What do you got for us, man? Let's see here. What is the stock that I wanted to pull up and talk about? It was CleanSpark. There we go. So we do have a thing going on with CleanSpark here, guys. We are down at support, key support. It is going to be this platinum pocket here at $8.48. I talked about that this level is a key level for us to hold. If we don't get that, this is where I have that box down there, and I do think that is what's going to be in play, guys. It's this last little volume node down here on the fixed range volume profile that is coming in at about $5.68. And then, of course, we do have the one-to-one of that fib line right there coming in at 641. That is the top of this box, bottom of this box, and then ultimately this is your Custard's last stand right there. So I'm watching for those levels. If we break this, guys, on the 887 at 848, looking at heading down at 641, up top side, and about 570 on the bottom side. That's what I've got there. And you can see here on the daily, plenty of room to still go down. Me personally, though, I am seeing volume coming back in here. You guys can see that. Let me clean this off, and I'll show you the hopium here. There's your bullish side. We do have the volume coming in right there. Money flow is starting to curve back up. You can see that right there. There's a little curvature on it. I would say that it is a good possibility that if Bitcoin can find a turnaround and maybe hit that 59K, as long as CleanSpark is holding this 848 with this volume starting to come up and that money flow about to turn upwards, we could get that bounce in this range here to take us back to the upside. But again, if we lose it, guys, this is the range to watch right there. Let's kick it over to you, OC. Let's see what you got for the wrap out of the show, and then we'll bring it back and we'll talk it out.
Absolutely. Let me just clear up a little bit of this spaghetti, and let me show you that I've been looking at the SPX yesterday. A week ago, remember I gave this signal on the Piper Academy that I was waiting, was really, really hopeful of this bounce right here. Remember, early flip of the ribbon. This was a long time ago, well, the previous week, and then that made me bullish on altcoins. So all altcoins, or many altcoins, have been playing out very, very nicely. And now we're getting to my next alert. Look at that. My next alert is at 5,798. Once again, all-time highs, but I don't see the actual movement that I really like to see. Just a quick reminder that there we go. I mean, the circle is right here, right? this is what I wanted to see. This little circle, the same thing that it's playing out. Let me just clear it up right here, right? I want to see that range to play it out in a burst of movement going through my alerting here. That will indicate me that the economy is feeling bullish. I'm not saying that it's doing great. I'm just saying that the investment in companies, remember the S&P 500 is a 500 mashup of the most important companies in the States, right? So they're doing great. That adds confidence and strength and trust on the U.S. economy. And seeing that breakout is not there yet, although there's no denial that we are in all-time highs. My only fear is that we could be at this candle in here. You see, as we didn't have a clean breakout like in here, which was a gap, right? Like in here, that was two candles. Well, then right again, right in here, that we did not have that clean breakout, right? What happened with that non-clean breakout but higher candle? Well, then we reversed into I don't know, to the opposite side of the moon, I would say, right? So at this point, this is exactly what I'm looking at. Just be careful because it seems like we want to start flipping out, flipping or reversing down, but our prime score is still pretty high, and our consolidation score is also pretty high, which means that we're close to breaking the consolidation. So a little bit of a retracement will be good until we start breaking the 5,739. If we start losing that area, I think we're going to be going at least to 5,660 and most likely to 5,600. Why am I telling you this, guys? Because you can use S&P 500 to as an indicator whether you should be investing or cutting risk on altcoins or risky coins. So if we start bursting, well, then meme coins could be a good idea to start looking at with responsibility, right? And understanding the risk. And if we start reversing or losing those zones, de-risking on other assets will also be a good idea. Just a quick usage of those of S&P 500 as a guidance on crypto. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
All right. So we had a request for Injective. How close are we to 50 likes? Where are we at? What's that number there? Alexander G said it's 4 more. Is that 4 more? If I can get 4 more likes, I will throw up Injective and we'll take a quick look at that. And maybe if someone is one of the people that hit that like button, then they can drop another one and we'll knock out 2 of them because we don't have Randy Hipper on this morning, so we can't redirect anyways. We can wait a couple of more minutes, but guys, smash up that like. If we get to 50 likes, I'll throw on Injective. But let's talk about what's coming up this week and next week while we're waiting to see if that happens. Guys, tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we got Crypto Nightcap with FDY and Tradefly. They're going to be doing that show tonight. Don't forget, every morning before I go live, there's a show called Good Morning Crypto. They are giving you that complete breakdown of what is coming up on the data ahead. And then lastly, we do have next week, guys. Next week on Tuesday, Crypto Billy, the Billy Goat Tales, they're going to have a really a near and dear friend of mine, Rob, Digital Asset News, is going to be on there. And I'm really looking forward to that because if you guys don't know, if it wasn't for Digital Asset News, I would not have met Crux of Crypto, and Crux of Crypto and all of his connections and me and all my connections never would have happened. So that whole thing was born at a meet and greet with Rob from Digital Asset News. It looks like we need one more like, and you guys will get it. 50 likes. There we go. Bam. Let's go. Hold on. You guys get a sound.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka. Let's go jump into Injective and we'll take a look at it here. And then Ondo. Warrior said Ondo. So we'll do Ondo. OC, you want to pull up Ondo? I'll pull up Injective and we'll knock these out really quick. Let's do it. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys got us to 50, man. I love it. Taking a look here at Injective, guys. We are continuing down this long trend line. I'm looking at a daily chart here, so keep that in mind. And this goes all the way back to its first touch in January 2024. You can see that we do have some fib levels here. And so we've got this confluence of our trend line that we've been just dancing down over and over and over here for days. Let's put this back on a 12-hour so you can get a little bit more candle detail there. we are coming in line right here to this level of support. That is going to be the 887 at $18.54. If we can hold this level, guys, this may give us that breakout finally to give us some upside movement. But keep in mind that the 100-day and the 200-day have been playing heavy resistance. And of course, all this is going to be data dependent. There's Jerome Powell's line based on what Bitcoin is doing, okay? Let's take a look at the oscillator, though, and you can see the oscillator pretty much running in that neutral range here of the price action for the True 7. Money flow is coming down. Volume's a little pink right now, a little red, but it is starting to come up. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty on this chart. Little bit of bullishness, a little bit of bearishness, sideways, and I can deal with sideways. That would not be a bad thing as long as it's holding this 887 or at least recaptures this 887 like we've seen it do multiple times. I would say that right now on Injective, you're looking at a good accumulation area that could result in some upside, but be prepared with some dry powder for more downside. Now, if we do carry this on, I just want to point this out. If we do carry this on and we miss this area right here, because if I throw on a fixed range volume profile here, let's get a fixed range volume profile on there. We do have the value area low right here. You can see that that's that purple line right there. If we lose this purple line, guys, meaning we also lost the 887, I am watching ultimately for $9.60. Why? Because that's our previous support back here that we have never really gone back and tested again once we broke it right there. So if we lose this area of the volume node coming in right here, which would be pretty much the range of the 1-to-1 to that platinum pocket, if we lose that, that would be my all-in area at $9.59 on Injective. Let's go ahead and kick it over to you, OC. Let's round it out with some Ondo because these people got us to 50, and much love to the alumni. So let's come back.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Nice. So so let's take a look at Ondo really quick in here. I'm on the daily right now. Let's take a look at what is happening on the daily. And also I see a couple of pictures here. We did have, drawings here. We did have a 15 minutes time frame analysis. So let's do both really quick. The first thing that I see here, it is an up ranging trend line here, which is going to be very important if you want to start looking for a possible entry. I would not be jumping to an entry at this point on daily because we're losing the zero line here, right? So most likely we're going to be losing this area here. Let me zoom in into it so we can see it much better. There we go. And as we lose it, I think that we're going to be going for a retest, right? And let me start adding my indicators to start looking for that confluence to see if we have something right down there that could be acting as support. So far on daily, it is everything is just very spread apart. So we could be having something like a breakout retest really fast, right? So be aware that this could be a two candle movement and then a continuation to this area right here, right? Let's jump into the 15 minutes to see how that played out for the last call that I gave on Ondo. Ondo, we were looking at, oh, come on, now we have a ton of things in here. All right, let me just get rid of everything. There we go. We were looking at a very hard area of support right down here, and I was expecting a continuation to the downside and then a bounce. So did it happen? Yes. Did it happen exactly as I was expecting? A little bit late of what I was expecting, but look at that. Target hit, very nice. So basically we went into this area of support. At this point, are we on the same area of support? Absolutely. But is it the same thing? Let me just clear everything up in here. And remember that daily is looking a little bit bearish. So we also should be looking at some support and resistance. This is the last support. But also at the same time, we are losing the zero line in here. So I would not be trusting this support until I see a flip of the ribbon, or at least I see money flow jumping up, right, or jumping in. So also, as long as I don't see flip of the ribbon at support, I will not be trusting this support here. Other than that, I will be going for a breakout retest to the downside. How far could it go? Well, then we have seen that on the daily, but let's bring up a couple of my predictive ranges. One of the tricks of predictive ranges is looking at the previous one overextension, or well, configure them from one time frame higher than we are right now. We are on the 15 minutes. Let's go for maybe the 4 hours or the 1 hour. So predictive ranges instead of chart. Let's take a look at the 1 hour right here. Click OK, wait for it to load. and then just hold a second. There we go. So we have a little bit of a better prediction. And this one coexists with the idea of a breakout retest, and then we can adjust this one for the final target or a possible short. Something to add to it will be the volume profile sidebar. Let's add it here. Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. And since we're just measuring till here, we only have the last piece of volume. So we will need to expand this area of volume all the way back down farther to have this much confluence. To do that, you go to your Market Dynamics Pro and you increase your volume profile bars length right here from 1,400 to a little bit higher. Or another thing that you can do is just go higher in time frame. That will give you more compact data. And we'll see, there we go. We have right now reached that area of support. So what are we looking at? Somewhere around here. And what we want to compare it with big spikes of volume. So as you can see, it is almost the same area that we were talking about with the predictive ranges. So target for the short will be 0.62. And that's what I got for Ondo.
Awesome. Crypto Billy asked probably the most important question of the day. Yes, dark coffee has less caffeine. Lighter the roast, the more caffeine in the coffee. So there you go. I learned that from right there. That legendary aviation coffee. They actually have some really, really good blends, and they told me that their highest caffeine coffee is their light roast. So there you go. The more you know. Guys, thanks for joining us here today. You guys have been fantastic. It's been wonderful having all the alumni here. We have data tomorrow that I want to point out, guys, and that's why the markets are sitting a little uncertain, because data came out today that was a little off for what they were expecting, showing a little bit of return of some inflation. Tomorrow, guys, is PPI. This is the producer price inflation. And so today was the consumer price index, how much it costs for consumers to buy goods. Tomorrow is the price of goods for producers to produce products. And so that is coming out tomorrow morning. And that is really why I think that we're kind of just stagnant today, holding really tight there to the current ranges. I do think we'll have a little bit of downside today, but there is a chance for small little rally pumps as people get hopium coming into that Friday data there tomorrow. But shout out to everybody that joined us over on X also, guys. Currently over there, 70 views over there on that video right now. And then you guys were breaking 55 plus here today. We hit that 50 likes, man. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So thanks for joining us here today for the morning market report. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. talking about that data that I just showed you, that PPI, and how the markets are playing that out. Plus it's Friday, so you know we got to have that weekly wrap up there for the market. Don't forget to join tonight and watch Crypto Nightcap. And then, of course, if you want to know how the markets are looking tomorrow morning while you're getting ready for work, check out Good Morning Crypto with BC Port Corp and Lunar Beaches Crypto. Guys, we will be in the Discord this evening for TA 101 for our senior members. If you guys are there and you guys have that membership, don't forget to get in there. And if you don't have that membership, you can join using the link that I just dropped in the chat right there. OC, thanks for joining us here today, bro. We appreciate you. We got all those likes, so we don't need you to promote anything. They smashed it. They did it. It was great. So we will be back here tomorrow morning. OC, thanks for joining us. Alumni, have a great day. Remember, trade safe. And if you're going to trade, make sure that if you don't use a stop loss, that you at least have some dry powder to enter that trade and leverage it to a better position, guys. We will be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and markets, and of course, economic data, because those macroeconomics are going to be the deciding factor for where the markets are going up or down. Till then, guys, trade safe, use your stop loss, and later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall off. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome,